huge amount of time, just looking around the room of where questions are. So we'll try and take 2 or 3 together. So if you can be brief with your question.
Do you think that the business, the companies needs to do more to take social responsibility?
Okay, business, more social responsibility. Just moving towards lady there.
The EU has announced an oil embargo against Iran. How do you see this rising tensions? My name is Alexandra Föderl from the Austrian daily Der Standard.
Okay, rising tensions, oil embargo, Iran. And
Yes,
gentleman at the back, just behind. Thanks.
Secretary General spoke about some of the Arab leaders needing to be more... Sorry, Secretary General spoke about some of the Arab leaders needing to be more bold in their approach. Can you talk a little about the boldness you'd expect to see from President Assad in Syria?
Okay, so sir, that's business showing more social responsibility. Comments on the Iranian oil embargo and on Syria.
Business responsibility, what we call corporate responsibility, this has become one of the important agendas. I'm meeting today with many business CEOs who are the members of the UN Global Compact. There is a crucially important role to be played by business communities. They have the capacity in terms of financial resources. They have the capacity to innovate technologies. And they have social and moral responsibility to spread all these messages of social equity as business CEOs. That's why I'm meeting them and I'm urging them to be part of United Nations drive to realize a social, sustainable development. In fact, many companies, they have been investing a lot of money in renewable energy, in improving efficiency of energy. And this is the important part. I believe that energy is central to everything we want to achieve. It's central to everything we live in this world. That's one thing. This Global Compact has 10 principles. There's a good management, or including human rights, and social responsibility, anti-corruption, transparency, accountability. All these are very good principles by which this business should operate. And in this time of economic difficulties, it's all the more important that the business leaders, they should lead by example in addressing these issues. On Iran, I have been speaking out many times, publicly, privately. There are 5 Security Council resolutions already adopted, including 4 resolutions on sanctions on Iran. What is important at this time is 2 things. First of all, Iran should fully comply with the relevant Security Council resolutions. All the member states of the United Nations have responsibility, political and legal, to fully comply with the Security Council resolutions. They have not done yet. And they have to prove themselves that their nuclear development program is genuinely for peaceful purposes, which they have not done yet. I am deeply concerned by the report of the most recent IAEA, International Atomic Energy Agency report, indicating that there is a possibility of a military dimension in Iranian nuclear development programs, on which they say this is a peaceful. Onus is on Iranian side. At the same time, I'm urging E3+3 and Iran engage in a dialogue. There is no other alternatives in addressing this crisis than peaceful dialogue, peaceful resolution through a dialogue. And on this Arab Spring, last year, we have seen the remarkable situations. Many people came to the street and yearning for democracy, freedom, and dignity. That is why I have made this helping those countries in transition as one of my 5 generational opportunities, because this kind of a situation doesn't come often. It comes once in a generation or so. If you look the history, beginning from the end of Second World War, you will see almost once in a generation you have seen epochal historical development, starting from democratization process in Eastern Europe in late 1950s, and in 1960s, 70s in Asia, including my own country. And then you have seen the fall of Berlin Wall, collapse of Cold War in late 80s and 90s. Then it has come after a generation. So we have to seize this moment. We have to help those people, because they have been oppressed so long without any way to depend, appeal. Now they have come out. Women and young people, they are yearning for these aspirations. That's why I have been urging leaders to listen very sincerely, carefully to their aspirations. I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm encouraged that when it comes to Syrian situation, the League of Arab States have made a resolution trying to resolve this issue through a political process. The Secretary General of the League of Arab States and the chairman of this, the Qatari Prime Minister, are coming to UN Security Council to brief them. I hope that the Security Council will be able to act in a coherent, in same voice. Thank you.
Mr. Ban, thank you very much. I'm afraid to say we're almost at the limit of our time. If we've got time for a very brief 1 minute.
One more.
Okay, one more question. Lady just there with the blonde hair. You, ma'am.
Jane Martinson from The Guardian. Can you say more about the position of women, which is one of your 5 agendas, whether you're disappointed with international support for UN women, and how you go about pushing that agenda in places in the developing world or even places like China?
One of top priorities during my first term as a Secretary General was to improving the political, social, and economic status of women. Women holds up the half the sky. More than the half of the population of the world are women. Therefore, fully utilizing the potentials of women can accelerate in addressing all these difficult challenges, including current economic and financial crisis. I believe that the least utilized resources of this world are women potentials. That's why UN has taken this and established UN Women. There is a very strong support from the international community to this UN Women. But supporting any agency dealing with women is not enough. There must be fundamental changes in the mindset of the world leaders and world community. Particularly, we need the political leaders' changes of their mindset. Otherwise, it will not change. That's why, as a Secretary General, I have been speaking out very strongly. And I have been leading this by example. You come to United Nations and see how UN has changed. There were very few senior women who were in the decision-making process. I have appointed quite the number of women in undersecretaries' positions. This is the highest, senior-most positions. We have 1 Secretary General, 1 Deputy Secretary General. Then most of the senior-most, they are the Undersecretary Generals. Now you have many. There are many, at least 7 women who are now commanding UN peacekeeping operations and political missions in the field. There were none. There were only 2 or 3 in the 60 years of history. So there's a huge change. But changes in the United Nations is not enough. They have to change all throughout the member state of the United Nations. Often, I've been challenging the leaders, publicly or privately. You must change your system to allow women to proceed and take more important decision-making process, particularly in political positions, like becoming parliamentarians or ministers or ambassadors. But more importantly, I'm focusing on political opportunities so that they can be part of this changing the systems. That I will continue. And I need the support of journalists. You are the connectors of United Nations. Myself, these messages should be connected to all throughout the world, particularly to the leaders. And I count on your support. I thank you very much.
Mr. Ban, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Ask about the Korean situation. I'm sorry, we're in the very good. Okay. Hey there, how you doing? Okay. Yeah, looks like the best one, but I wish there would be a lot more photos.